Cyberpunk will have a pretty big year in 2022. It's getting that next-gen upgrade, the new expansion is just around the corner, and of course, the team has been heavily involved with the upcoming Netflix anime called Edgerunners. But where is CD Projekt Red in all of this? We didn't have any official confirmation in a pretty long while. And while it's true that we do have some leaks for today's video, we do have at least partial confirmations from a number of job listings on upcoming features, including gameplay mechanics, improved AI, and some other exciting stuff that I do want to share with you guys in this video, so let's jump right in. Now, as always, I recommend taking all of these rumors with a large dose of skepticism, at least until the company comes in and fully clarifies this. But according to some recent leaks, the game isn't just getting a new update, but a full soft relaunch that will include both the next-gen upgrade as well as the rumored patch 1.5. Internally, it's being called the Samurai Edition, though I really doubt that a company that focuses so much on marketing will go with a simple naming like this. All in all, it seems quite interesting, and it should coincide with a big live stream around February according to the same leak, which will reveal both the patch, the Cyberpunk anime I mentioned, as well as the first expansion for the game. Now, let's make one thing clear. Cyberpunk getting a new expansion isn't shocking news. We were supposed to already get this at the end of 2021, but the company has delayed it for the start of this year. As far as features go, here is where it becomes a bit more interesting, because you might have asked for some of these yourselves as well. So the new patch would feature a new barbershop, a garage, an improved AI, a transmog system, a complete rebalance of the loot system, new UI, and tons of small interactions with Judy and Panem during the course of the game, among many other stuff that the leak doesn't quite specify. This supposed DLC/expansion will be free though, and it seems to be bundled with 4 new weapons, new game plus, apartment customization, and new gigs, which all sounds like a wish list. If I were to make my top 10 most awaited Cyberpunk features, some of these would definitely be in there on the list really high up, including that improved AI. Though I will say that that AI part doesn't seem that far-fetched, considering there's a number of new job listings by CD Projekt Red specifically for AI and physics programmers, which are highly indicative of the fact that the developer is aware that they do need to improve these systems. So one of them is specifically aimed towards AI and AI improvement, including of course designing, implementing and maintaining AI subsystems with a proprietary game engine, and there's also a listing for a physics programmer that will be responsible for designing, implementing, optimizing and maintaining low to mid tier simulation systems such as vehicle physics, ragdoll simulations, and also implementing new features alongside them, though none of these are specified. It does sound interesting and highly suggestive that the developer is aware of the areas that they can improve. But nonetheless, what are the rest of the features that you will see in the new expansion? Well, the first expansion should take place in Pacifica according to the recent leaks, which is actually quite huge. Now, we don't really know if the leak is referring to the fact that the first expansion is huge or if Pacifica is huge itself. Yes, lore-wise, Pacifica is pretty large, and there's also a pretty big area in-game that is quite inaccessible and also quite broken, so it would be nice to see all of that being expanded upon. At this point, it looks like a no-brainer for CD Projekt Red to expand with that first and give us a bit more of the lore of that neighborhood. Now, according to the same leak, that new area would be called the Combat Zone, and we are supposed to be able to walk around it and complete what I suppose to be new quests, because a new area would also imply having new quests. The Combat Zone is being fought over by 2 new gangs in this new supposed update. One of them is called the Bozos, which is made out of violent clown psychopaths with a sick sense of humor, and another one called the Slaughterhouse, which is made out of violent psychopath fascists. End of quote. It does sound interesting, though I kinda have to raise a big question mark here. Why would CD Projekt Red introduce 2 new gangs in an area that is already populated by 2 pretty big ones, which are the Animals and the Voodoo Boys? One theory is that because of V leaving these 2 gangs in shambles at the end of the main campaign, this would create a power vacuum, which would be the perfect catalyst for 2 new gangs to come in and take control. Another one would be that because of the remnants of the old gangs, these 2 new ones could be invited in and maybe even create alliances between the new gangs and the former ones, and just elevate the war in Pacifica at the next level. all in all, it does sound quite interesting, but again, a huge grain of salt over here because I just don't see CD Projekt Red creating new lore just to not focus on two gangs that they have built up so much. And here is where like the whole leak kind of falls apart for me, because it kind of goes into super far-fetched territory. It also mentions that the new combat zone would feel inspired by the game Stalker, which yes, there are some abandoned areas and there are some parallels that can be drawn between these games, but the atmosphere is totally not the same, even by Pacifica standards. Another one would be a rumored Gwent-like minigame for Cyberpunk, set in the cyberspace, where you get to control, collect and battle with monsters in JRPG-like battles. And it sounds a bit far-fetched, but CD Projekt Red has been dabbing quite a bit with that Gwent minigame. They also released a fully fledged minigame, not just the one in The Witcher 3, so it could be possible that a team has been working on the side to bring some of these in and maybe even build it as a feature, as a fully fledged feature in Cyberpunk 2077. It does sound quite interesting, though a huge doubt is being placed on it right now, because I just don't see CD Projekt Red focusing on a minigame when there's so many other features and other requests that people are bringing in since day one. Now on the enemy side, we are supposed to get at least 2 new enemies slash monsters according to the same leak. One of them would be called the Reaper and the other one Oni, but I thought at first that this would be kind of like too far of the universe for Cyberpunk 2077, but then you look at the samurai band and they have an Oni mask as their logo. And if you look at the overall like arch of Cyberpunk and how heavily is intertwined with like just Japanese culture in general, I think it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that at some point some kind of enemies that do present these features in one way or another would make their way in the game. On a final note, this wouldn't be the only expansion CD Projekt Red is working upon. There's another one in its early stages of planning, but would only get released according to the leak if the first one is a success. And I kinda have to wonder how is CD Projekt Red gonna tie these expansions with that anime they've been working upon and that's supposed to release this year on Netflix. Yes, it does have its own story, but I would imagine CD Projekt Red can also do a tie-in with a Netflix show to boost its sales and to boost like the player count. It's been done with Spider-Man recently. Like there's so many Marvel games out there that have been running campaigns alongside the movie that just came out, and I kind of wonder if CD Projekt Red isn't preparing its marketing for this as well, because I would assume a lot of people would jump in the game after watching the anime and the vice versa as well. All in all, it seems that CDPR is going all in when it comes to creating new gameplay mechanics and features, and there's a number of job listings that further prove that. There's a call for a senior technical animator that details the prototyping of visual parts of new gameplay mechanics in cooperative with the gameplay animators and designers, and also another one for a destruction technical artist that requires optimizing destruction assets to the extent that nobody notices they are optimized because they look and behave great. So I kind of want to see exactly what that means. It might be performance related, it might make the game feel better on the old gen of consoles, or just make the game look more improved, and of course especially with the next gen upgrade just around the corner. This is it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.